Peace and blessing, my people. This is another Ceelos musical chronicle, and I have a good, dear friend of mine, an extraordinary timbalero percussionist, all around percussionist, and we're gonna speak about more with him about that. But I want you to check out this clip that we got of him doing a little jamming, and his name is Willie Ramos. Check it out. Salsa. Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Willie Ramos. Willie Ramos, right here. Let me put my buddy on my head. Willie, yeah.
What's up, my brother?
Another applause.
What's up, my bro?
Yeah, man, doing good, feeling great.
Thank you.
Finally have you here. Let me bring myself on here. Yes,
there you go.
Willie Ramos.
Looking good, man. How are you, man? Long time no see, my bro.
I'm fine. I'm doing pretty good. I'm so glad I reconnected with you, man. And we're gonna talk about the times we had playing together, and and you being a very influence in my life in Orlando. Keeping my chops up. I had to keep my chops up when I was playing. You know what I'm saying?
Likewise.
But anyway,
likewise, my bro.
So just to get started, Willie Ramos, what instrument do you play? For those in the podcast who don't know, what instruments do you play?
I play percussion. Basically, my main instrument is timbal, but I do play conga and bongo too. I mess around with the piano a little bit, you know what I mean? But I'm not a virtuoso on that. But I'm basically a percussionist.
Okay, that's good. And so you play timbales. What about bongo and congas?
Dun.
And so let me ask you, first of all, in your family history, are there musicians in there that you get? Is this something that's genetically?
Yes, most definitely.
Who in your family you could say what percussion?
I get my main inspiration. I get from my Uncle Pete, because when I was growing up, he was always in my house. You know what I mean? Okay. And we're real close. And he was a musician back then.
Okay.
He played bongo a while for this cat named Ralph Robles. I don't know if you remember him from Brooklyn.
I remember Ralph Robles.
Yeah, my uncle played bongo for him. And I used to stare at him like, I just used to stare at him playing, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then
Right.
when he wasn't around, I would emulate what he was doing, you know.
Okay.
That's why a lot of people, he's left-handed. So that's what I picked up, the left-handed style of playing. So if you
Really?
see me play timbal, yeah, if you see me play timbal, I'm right-handed, but I set him up left-handed style because I'm
Nice.
used
I
to
do the
going
same
that
thing.
way.
I'm the
I
same
I
way.
I, I can I do play them, the typical way. I play them, but
Mhm.
I'm more comfortable playing them like that, more or less like
Okay.
Sheila E plays. Yes,
So in your family history, you got your uncle, right?
yes. My dad plays.
Your
My
dad
older
played,
brother plays.
and they'll play
So there's
percussion or they play other instruments.
my father plays guitar. He plays
Okay.
cuatro. A little bit of piano too.
So,
My
so you grew up
brother
in a
plays.
household. You grew up in a
Yes,
household where
yeah,
music
yes. My
is
brother.
prominent.
When
Nice.
when I was 13, I played in my brother's R&B band. I was playing drums for his R&B band. My brother played
Nice.
trumpet.
Okay.
So I
But
remember I
I'm
used to go to gigs. I used to go to gigs upstate, and they would have to put a chaperone with me. You know what I mean? I couldn't hang out in the club by myself. I was
before we go
13.
there, I want to tell you, where were you born? Where were you
I,
born? Willie?
I was born in Manhattan
In
Metropolitan
Matt.
Hospital, New York, New York.
Okay, so you're New York all the way, New York.
New York Rican all the
Nice,
way,
nice.
baby.
And so, at what age? So you was about to say how you started playing. At what age did you start playing
Oh
percussion?
man, I as far back as I can remember. You know what I mean? If you want to say like started playing, I was in elementary school and I was playing trap set. I was like in the
Okay.
sixth grade and I was playing a drum set.
Oh, okay. So you came from that whole school program where they had music
I was
and
I was in I yeah I was in the school band, right?
okay.
But I played trumpet in the school band.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't stay because I wanted to play drums. You know what
Nah,
I
I
mean?
hear
So
you.
because I would come home with the trumpet, and instead of practicing the trumpet, I would bang on the case with drumsticks. So I was always
Okay.
I was always banging on something.
Yeah, it was calling
As
you.
far as far as
Te está
but it's
llamando.
as far as salsa is concerned, I didn't get into salsa until later on. I
Oh,
was more into R&B,
so your
rock.
first love, so your first playing when you were young, as far as you can remember, was R&B,
Yes,
right?
R&B.
And
Yeah, we used
what
to
about the
jam.
Boogaloo? What about the Boogaloo? Was it also
Well,
Boogaloo style and
that
all that?
that that came later. You know what I
Okay,
mean? Because
okay,
yeah, I was like I didn't get into salsa really till I was like 15 or 16.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
All right, all
that's when I
right.
discovered Oreste Vilato and those people.
All right. So you remember the
Uh,
first band that you ever played with as a
oh my
child?
God, the first band I ever played with, it was called the Mattels, and I was back in junior high school.
Right.
Yeah, we used to play a little R&B. We didn't have a bass player, but we had a drummer and a piano player, and all of us sang.
Okay.
That's the first band I remember. Yeah,
Wow.
the
Nice.
Mattels. Yes, sir.
That's nice. That's nice. So
My first, I grew up in New York.
you grew up in
Yes,
New York, right? But I
yes,
met you in Orlando. Was there any? So you most of your schooling and your musical schooling at an early age was in New York, correct?
yes, definitely.
I
Yeah,
kind of like feel that the reason why we clicked.
yes.
I call you in my mind. I used to call you the chef of the timbale because it was like it was like you
Wow.
were cooking a gourmet. The way you held the
Wow.
sticks and the way you got on the timbale was like it was like you were cooking a gourmet. It's like, yo, this
Oh
guy's
my
cooking
goodness.
a gourmet. This is the chef.
Yo, that
So you heard it
that
here first.
yeah, bro. And that's big. That's very big coming from you,
Yeah.
my brother. That's
Wow,
very big.
wow,
'Cause
wow.
just like you, I have very much respect for you and your talent, bro. We
No,
played
thank you.
together.
I appreciate that.
We
Yeah.
played together many
We'll get
times,
there.
and
We'll get there. We're going
yeah,
to. This is a chronicle, so we're gonna go through bits and
I
pieces.
got you, brother.
So, so let's
But
say,
thank you for that. Thank you for that, bro. Thank you.
hey man, that's just what I see and hear from you. That's what resonates. And so what I wanted to ask you. So I what so in New York. So when was it that you make the move to Orlando?
I came to Florida much later. I came to Florida
Well, what
in the
age? Oh,
early 90s.
in the
Yeah.
early
And I
90s.
went back. Yeah, and I came back. It took me a couple of times. But then the last time I came, I stayed because my family's down here.
Okay. But in New
Basically.
York, did you because I know you as a band leader. and as a
Uh-huh.
composer in New York. Did you form a band in New York at that time? And
No, no, not in Salsa. No,
no, no.
I played for the longest time. I played with this gentleman named Ray Giustiano.
Okay.
He's the one that brought me through the minor leagues up to the pros. You know what I mean? I don't know. Do you know it's this group, the New Swing Sextet? Have you ever heard of them? The New Swing Sextet?
No, sound familiar, but
Yeah,
there was
well,
so
they're
many
and they're
groups from New York. They're
yeah,
from New York.
yes, they're from the Lower East Side in
The Lower
Brooklyn,
Side. Oh, there was a lot of nice bands out there.
yes, and Ray J, they're all brothers. But
Okay,
Ray J came out and did his own thing, and we formed. He hired me to play with him then.
nice, nice. And so, in your so in New York, you didn't form a band. When you got to Orlando, um, who did you work with? Because I remember when I first saw you on a stage. I think it was a Festival Medina, one of those festivals
Yes,
back then in New York. Because in the '90s,
yes,
there was an
yes,
explosion, right? There was a musical
yes,
explosion. Everybody, I mean, there was a lot of percussionists, a lot of music, and
yes,
bandas and
yes.
salsa band. What
A
was the
lot,
first
and
band that you started with?
a lot of local bands too
Mm-hmm.
that were here.
Mm-hmm.
When I got down here, I connected with these guys that were from New York too. They have a trombone band called La Fuerza Latina,
West
and
Latina, I
that's
remember them.
probably when I saw you.
Yes,
At the Medina festivals. Yeah, so
yes,
I played
I
with them. I played with them for a few years, and then we would get together when artists would come from out of town, like Tito Allen and
yeah.
other singers that would come from Puerto Rico, and they would
Right.
hire guys here. So
Okay.
I was part of that little corrido for a while.
Corrillo for a while. Yeah, I remember that was
Yeah.
yeah, Fuerza Latina was the band, that and the Cuco Reyes,
Yes, Cuco Reyes and
that band, and who else?
the
It was
piano
like, was there
player.
was there a
I
commodity?
bet.
Was there kind of like a challenge between these bands? Where it
It
was
was
kind of
always,
competitive?
there was always a competition. You know what I'm saying?
Competition.
I would see you arrive with
Yeah.
Dimas. I would see Orlando
Ay,
Sanchez come
or
in
Coco Jazz.
with Alberto Bravo and stuff. I said, got to bring the A game. We're going up there.
There
You know
you
what I
go.
mean? So yeah,
Right,
but it was, you
right.
know what? It was it was intense, but a friendly competition.
Friendly competition.
At the end of the day, we were all together. You
Steel
know what I'm
sharpens
saying?
steel. Yeah, we were
Yeah,
sharpening each
yes,
other's skills up there,
yes,
man.
yes, yes.
Wow, wow. So in Orlando, so you played with Fuerza Latina. When was the first time you started composing? When you started taking on that
I,
band leadership role?
I just, I said, I made up my mind. It was in my head for the longest time. You know what I mean? Because I was always thinking of songs and stuff like that, and I would write stuff down, but I never took that extra step,
Right,
because I realized that's that decision is not an easy decision.
right,
You
right,
got to be ready to do some work if you want to form a band and be a band leader and deal
right.
with other egos and personalities and stuff like that. That the
It's not easy
music
being a
is
band leader. Yeah,
yeah,
I got
the music is the fun part,
you. Right.
dealing with the business side of it. That's the part that's the hard work.
That's right.
So I finally decided that if I was gonna keep playing, I wanted to do something that I wanted to do.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
Do you feel there
I
was a
got
difference between playing with a musician in Orlando and being from New York, and you
uh
brought that New York swag with you down? You know what I'm saying? Did you find that it was it different, or there was a lot of New York
well, it
musicians
was
out
it
here
was
though?
it was different, but not in that sense. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying? Because
okay,
there's a lot of excellent musicians down here.
right,
Even
Orlando.
back then. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't something about that, but it was like the rhythm or something. There's a certain kind of masacote en clave that you
New
learn in New
York
York
style, right?
because you're surrounded by all different kind of cultures. You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
Jamaican.
Wow,
You're listening to reggae. You're listening to rock. You're listening to cumbia. You're listening to
interesting.
all this stuff is blended in there.
Yes,
So when it
yes,
starts coming out, that's how it comes out. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly,
I
exactly.
decided
Good
I
point.
decided to I decided to do that, and see if it worked. You know what I
Right,
mean? And,
right.
and, and so far, it's working to a point. Like I said, it's hard work, man. It's not something that a lot of people think it's just
Mhm.
one, two, three, four, and
Hey,
let's
let's go.
go. You know
No,
what
no,
I
no,
mean?
no.
But when they get in the middle of it and they start saying, "Oh, wait a minute, this ain't like that,"
It's like,
You
where's the
know, como
clave? Where's
se,
the one? Especially
yeah,
when you got
como,
the Americans in the band. Where's
you
the
know,
one at?
yeah, you
Where's
know,
the one? And boy, you
como
gotta
se
feel it,
cuadra una
brother.
canción. Yes, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Are they playing 2/3 clave? Are we in 3/2,
3-2
3/3?
and 3-3. I tell them it's
You
just
know,
African clave. Oh, just deal with that.
bro. Yes, that's amazing. You know what I mean? So, but when you teach that,
Mhm.
you know, when other people see that come out of you, they look at you and they go like, I didn't know you had that in you, bro. I mean, you don't read music. How do you direct the band not
I was
reading
gonna
music?
ask you. You don't read music, but you compose music. I mean,
Yes,
you do
but
it verbally.
what I do is like
Mhm.
what a lot of people do is
Uh,
a lot of guys that don't read music but have those ideas in their head. You
yeah,
know, I sing it to somebody else. You
nice.
know, I sing it like the person that's helping me out a lot right now, and I got to give him a shout is Victor Romero.
Victor
You know,
Romero. I
yes,
could tell you a story about Victor, how I
yes.
met him.
Well,
Oh wow, he
I've
probably
been
doesn't
work.
remember me, but you know,
He probably does because he
yeah,
doesn't, you know, he doesn't forget, and he's a humble cat. You
right.
know,
He's
as
a
far
humble
as I
cat.
know,
Yeah,
as far with me, he's a very humble cat,
yeah. He
and
was a
he
piano.
shows me
Yeah,
his knowledge,
yeah. He was a
and he
piano
teaches.
player for when in Orlando, in Tampa, we played with Marvin Santiago,
Yes, I think
and then
when
he
we
played the
played in
piano.
Orlando, I played with Marvin Santiago. I think he was a piano player there too.
Yeah, well, Jazz Hamilton was the
Because
band leader, I believe.
we played there at that Chinese restaurant on Orange Blossom Trail way back in the day.
Oh, back in the day, yeah, that's right, that's right, that's
Yes.
right, that's right.
Uh,
I was a bongocero. I play with Marvin.
a funny story about that is the same night that we were playing with Marvin, Ray Barretto was playing at this club up there in I forgot the name of it. It used to be a real popular club. Anyway, he was
Silhouette.
playing. Yeah, he was playing the same night, right?
Nice.
And I asked one of the musicians that was playing timbal with him that night if he would switch with me, you know, because
That's right.
I knew more Barretto set than I did of Marvin Santiago set. You know what I mean? But nah, he wouldn't switch. He was like, "You
Great,
crazy?"
great segue. Who influenced you in percussion? Who is one of your icons, or who do you, I mean, resonate with as far
the
as the
main
ballad?
the
Yeah,
main the main person I give the props to of where I learned from, and I've only met him is Oreste Filato.
nice. Oh
But I
man,
studied everything that he did in Ray Barretto and with the group he had with Ray Barretto that had all those masters, Johnny Dandy Rodriguez on bongo,
yes.
Orestes on I mean Dandy on conga, Ray Barretto on Dandy
No,
on bongo. I'm
on
sorry,
bongo. Yeah,
Barretto
Dandy
on
was on
conga and
bongo.
Vilato on timbal.
Yeah,
That percussion was real tight.
real tight.
Also, also
Cocinando. Oh man.
yes, you know, que viva
Oof.
la música, la
Que vive la
pelota.
música, la pelota. Oh
Yeah,
man. Yeah, you
and then Oreste blew up when they came out with Típica, you know,
right. Típica 73, which was the
yes,
band, the Ray Barreto's band when they broke up with
yes,
Ray Barreto,
yes,
and they
and
formed
in
Típica
Típica he played
73.
bongo and timbal, you
That's
know, and he
right.
did coro and the whole
Master.
nine, and you
I
know what
got
I'm
to see him
saying?
in
So
person doing that. Yeah.
yes, I used
Nice.
to follow him, and I go. I mean, I had opportunities to open for them. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Playing with Ray J.
Nice.
So that's another school that I got because we were playing in all the clubs
Beautiful.
from the Corso down to the Ipanema, bro.
Oh wow, the coast of the Ipon.
Roseland.
Oh my God.
Yes,
Yeah,
all the
jamming those
yes.
places.
That you know,
Wow.
I grew up in that golden era. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
That when
Nice.
they were all just starting to blow up. You know,
Well
Pete
school,
Conde,
well
Hector
school.
Lavoe, all them guys.
Right,
But the
right.
percussionist that influenced me was Chucky Lopez. May he rest in peace. You
May
know,
rest in
Eladio, his
peace, Chucky,
father.
man. Mhm.
Yes, you know, Eddie Palmieri's orchestra is, you know, is another one of my favorites, and that's where I get my influence from too. And
Right, nice.
sometimes you'll hear it in the music that I
And the
put out.
music, yeah, no, I heard it. I heard it. I was gonna, and that's a great segue because I was gonna ask you, do you remember the first composition that you composed? Your first song that you
Oh
composed?
my God, the first song that I can remember,
Yeah.
composed and got music sheets to and everything is called Si Supieras or Urgente Olvidarte. But that's a story for yes, and esos son otros 20 pesos.
That's
You
a lot.
dig?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a. So that was the
Yeah.
first composition.
The
That's when you
first one that I
just start
remember,
out.
yes. Yes. When the
Okay,
first time that
okay,
I tried to form the band, the one that I tried to do this, you know what I mean, and see how it would work out, you know.
nice, nice, nice. And so let's lead up to when I met you. Actually, I think you asked me to I don't know where you saw me playing, but you asked me to come on down to rehearsal. You wanted me to play,
It's
and
just
that's
that
what.
we've been in a lot of the same places. So I know
Right,
you for many, many years here
right,
in Orlando. You know what
right.
I mean?
True,
And so, and every time that we got together, we would speak and stuff like that. But
true.
actually know you that we hung out and stuff, that wasn't till later. You know what
That
I
was
mean?
until later, right?
Yeah, that
So
wasn't till,
let's bring it up to Sonido Criminal. That was a
yes,
band that you formed with another
yes,
singer, with a singer, Carlos,
yes,
and that band, that was a band that I joined it. You know, you asked me to come on in,
yes,
and
yes,
those compositions with what got me very interested because a lot of those compositions was written by you. You know what I'm saying?
yes.
And
They were written by myself and the guy that sang with
and
us, Carlos
Carlos
Mojica.
Mojica. Yeah.
A lot of the arrangements and stuff like that, I did, but lyrically, with the lyrics and the words and stuff, we both chipped in with where that's concerned.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was the first time that I attempted to do that, attempted to write and have it and perform it,
Right.
and we got to do that. That was big for me,
Right.
that was
Sonero
big for me.
Criminal. Man, let me ask you
And,
something because it had a ring like Willie Colon, Lo Mato, and Malo, and says Sonero Criminal.
well,
This is that gangster.
the name came from actually a saying that we got from New York, from Brooklyn actually. When something was good, you would say
Good.
eso está criminal, wow, eso está criminal, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And so, I said, wow, sonido criminal,
Right.
when they used to hear us, they say, ese sonido está criminal.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Music has to echo the streets, man. You know what I'm
yes,
saying? To
most
me,
definitely.
and I know that
Yes,
you would agree with that because I hear it in your
most
music
definitely.
that it echoes the street. Light in
Yes,
the street and stuff
yes.
like that.
It's like
Um,
it's like we were saying before we started
mhm,
talking for this, that I compare it a lot to the hip hop lifestyle. You know what I mean? Because it is a lifestyle. It's a culture. Salseros. It's a culture. Salsa
mhm,
dura, the salsa music. It's a
mhm.
culture, and the MCs that we got are the soneros that front those bands because they freestyle off the top too when
That's
they're
right.
singing. When you see them live, yeah, you'll see them, and I'm talking about guys like Frankie Vasquez, Rey de la Paz,
Right.
Herman Oliveras.
Frankie Louis
You
was a
know,
good.
yes, Herman Oliveras, guys like that.
Yeah.
And there's many more, many, many more that
Off
I
the dome
consider
of the head. They
soneros.
were, yeah, the sonero, they're off the dome of the head. But
Yes.
we're playing rumba. Did you in New York? Did you play rumba like in Orchard Beach and any of
Oh,
those
most
places?
definitely. And
Because I
Orchard Beach,
did. I don't know.
Coney Island.
We probably crossed.
We
We did,
definitely did. We
because I did.
because now that I see the early picture of you,
Uh huh.
back in the day, I see no, we've seen each other
We seen
before.
each
We've
other.
crossed paths.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
remember seeing you when I first saw you. I
yeah.
said, I know this guy from somewhere. Yeah,
I
because
was I
Orchard
was
Beach.
Muchacho, we used to jam in Central Park,
And
Orchard
Central
Beach,
Park and Ocho
Coney Island.
Valley. So you come from
Uh,
that school. Yeah, that's the same school I came
yes,
from. Los Soneros,
absolutely,
man. The Soneros back then, off to the dome of the head. You know what I'm
bro.
saying? You hear
Yes,
the coro,
and
and that
there
was like,
and there is a difference
there
between
is.
a singer and a sonero. There is a difference,
I'm glad you
you know,
said that. And that is so true.
because
For
a
those listening
sonero.
to this podcast who wants to be singers, hey, listen, there's a difference between a sonero and a
Oh
singer.
yeah, man.
You heard
Yeah.
it.
Because listen, if you and I don't downgrade any form of music. There's
I
salsa
hear you.
romantica, there's salsa dura, there's salsa this, salsa that. It's all music to me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But I favor, where I grew up, and I was in the world of la salsa dura, la
Yeah.
rumba, with Barreto and all those cats. They used to sing about love and all that, but just the music was hard. You know what I mean? It was it was
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
just hard. You
Yeah.
know,
Cosa la
and,
calle. Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I mean? So,
Mhm,
uh,
mhm. And
but
that's the way.
soneros,
Mhm.
the
Dime,
the
dime.
point that I wanted to
Uh-huh.
make, I'm sorry, about the
No, you good.
soneros is that they do sing. They're called soneros because that's what they do. They freestyle.
Freestyle.
As soon as the lyric is over, the song lyric is over, when the coro comes in, he starts freestyle.
Right.
Vámonos pa'l monte, pa' Guarachal, and you freestyling. You Mike Quintana, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Freestyling,
yeah. Priest. Yep, yep,
Uh,
yep. We got to witness a lot of that. That's a good schooling, man.
oh
Being in the
yes, most
street and
definitely.
playing. Yeah, I don't know if I ever told you, about I was probably about 11 or 10 years old when I was the first person to teach me how to play conga was Uzi Barreto,
Uh-huh.
Tuti Barreto, conguero,
Yes,
santero.
yes,
And
yes.
I was in his apartment when he wrote Un Verano en Nueva York.
Look at that.
Yeah, he had
That's
a
crazy,
grand
bro.
piano. He had no furniture, just a grand piano in la sala.
Look at that.
And the man composed. And I remember when he went to La Faña studio to record it with the Gran Combo, Un Verano en Nueva
Right.
York. And he recorded, and I think he did the timbales solo on it. But yeah. I mean, it captured the
Do you
streets.
imagine? Can you imagine if we had what we got now with this cell phone doing what we're doing and selfies and Facebook and all that? When back then,
Back
the
then.
stories that we tell, but we don't have
I mean,
the electronic.
there's people that got photos. I can't get
Oh
in
yes,
contact with them, and
yes,
there is film. People that could
yes,
afford
yeah,
film.
yes,
Because
yes,
I
yes,
got film. My family got films of me when I was like
yes.
6 years old dancing cha cha.
Uh-huh.
What I'm saying?
Right,
But
right.
it's fast, film. But
They got
yeah,
they got pictures. I'm
but
sitting
imagine
down
this.
staring at the records on the record player, just staring at the record go round.
Yeah,
I would say
yeah,
that
yeah.
used to hypnotise me, man.
Were you the
Wow.
type, right? You was that type also that opened up that when an album came out, like let's say O Me by Larry Harlow or Ray Barreto album came out, you would just stare at the album, read the
Yes,
credits, and wanted to know who's playing on this album,
yes,
who played
and I
Bongo.
had to,
Actually, picture everybody playing.
yes, and I had to cop it. I had to
Yeah,
go out and get it. I had to go out and get it because
that's a
I had
beautiful
to,
time.
especially Barreto. That's the only one that I would do that for. I had to see what they were doing now.
Yeah.
What was next to come. After Acid, they go with Hard Hands and Que Viva la Música. Those are all iconic albums, bro.
Yeah.
That I don't think Barreto or any of them cats, Palmieri, Larry Hollow, made a bad song.
No.
I think all their songs
There were
were great.
concept album. All their song was great. Let's fast forward a little bit, and let me ask you this. So we're coming from an era where salsa, soneo, salsa, that street, that gutter, that's
Real dirty.
masacote, that
Dirty.
dirty thing.
Yeah.
When things started changing to the romantica, remember
Yes.
the romantic with Eddie? What is it? Eddie Santiago,
Yes.
Jerry
Yes.
Rivera. That's romantica.
Yes.
Did you go in that route, or you just? I mean, what do
Well,
you feel about that?
if you wanted to work, that's
Yeah.
the route you had to go. You either
That's
went to a
true.
merengue band, you either went to a
That's true.
merengue band or
That's
or
true.
band playing salsa romantica in the 90s. That's what was up. Was I
That's
happy? Was I happy? No, I was not happy.
Same here, bro.
Because
Same here.
because as a percussionist, you want more excitement. Now,
Yes.
with
Good
that
point.
music, all you did was sit there and play typical
Yeah.
cácara, campana, pa fuera. You know what I'm saying? There was no
I mean, it taught you
changing
a
of the
little bit of
beat.
discipline. It taught you a little bit of discipline.
Yes, it
In
did.
terms
Yes,
of,
it
but
did.
still, I like freeform. I like,
Yes.
I don't know. I
Yes,
think there's
yes.
got to
And
be a
now it's
wiggle.
if you have your ear to the street, it's coming back big time. There's this cat. His name is Edwin. Do you know a group? It's called
Edwin Perez. He does like
Edwin Perez.
conscious
Yes,
salsa.
yes.
Oh man,
The
yeah, I put a
Chronicles.
video on him.
Yeah,
Awesome,
he's
yeah.
got something called the Salsa Chronicles or something like that. He used to play with this orchestra from uptown. Todo lo que quiere bailar salsa, salsa nada más.
Yeah.
What is their name, man? I
He
have
got
it
a
right
nice.
here, but La
Edwin Perez.
Excelencia, that's their name.
Yeah.
La Excelencia.
I put
La
a video on
Excelencia.
him because he did one called "I Can't Breathe," something like that.
Yes,
About
yes. Well,
George Floyd. Oh man, the music
yes,
and the content,
but
and he's saying, "I'm glad that's coming back."
yes, his album is hot. He's
Yeah,
that
Edwin
Salsa
Perez.
Dura. The
Yeah.
Spanish Harlem Orchestra. I'm big
Yeah,
fans. Always been big
Spanish
fans of
Harlem.
them. Oscar Hernandez,
I
tremendous.
love it. I love it.
Yes.
But I said, finally.
Chino Nunez on timbal
Nice,
and
yeah.
Mr. Swing on congas, bro. Jorge, Georgie Delgado. Right now that's the man right now, Georgie Delgado. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I'm
You
so happy.
got your Giovannis and them cats that on that level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pero Georgie Delgado, he's nasty, bro. Timbalero Quintero, is nice too, so they're out there, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got to find them, but they're out there.
Yeah. That's great.
Salsa Dura is back, bro. It's back. It's
Good.
Mira,
It
Rey de
needed-
la
it
Paz
needed- it needed.
is playing around here today.
What? Rey de la
Yeah,
Paz?
yeah, Rey de la Paz is somewhere here in
I
Florida
remember when he
today.
used to work for FedEx. What did he work for? No, Sepúlveda. I remember Rey de la Paz. I wanted him to used to work for FedEx up in New
Yeah,
York and abroad.
that's
Cool
the
dude.
funniest thing. That's the funniest thing to me that used to get me. That those guys were professional. You see them on TV. You pay
Uh-huh.
to go see them in gigs and concerts, and they getting
And they
up the
had a
next
regular
day
job.
just like you going to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes. Like
That was
Eddie
the shame
Montalvo.
of that.
Eddie Montalvo. One time I'm hanging out with Eddie Montalvo, back
Uh
on
huh.
Ghetto Pelea, doing
Yes, yes,
rumba.
yes.
He's playing Willie Colon with everybody. And the next thing you know, on my building, the 9X comes to fix the 9X. He's working with 9X. I'm like,
And
he's
he
in a
was there.
uniform of 9X. I'm like, Eddie,
Yeah.
what are you doing? He said, I work for
Yo, wait a
9X. I said,
minute.
what?
Yo, Eddie, wait a minute. I just saw you yesterday playing with the Fania All Stars, bro.
The Fire Star.
I thought you be in Colombia or something by now. But wait, my phone is
Exactly.
off. You want to get my phone? Then I got you, bro. That's
Yeah,
a shame of that. You know what I
exactly.
mean? Like a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
people ate that money. A lot of people ate
Oh
that money.
man, I
You know?
mean, I
Yeah.
love Eddie Gwen. I got to play with Eddie Guagua a couple of times. Eddie
Look at
Guagua
that.
come
May he
to that
rest in
school.
peace. Yes.
May rest in
Yes.
peace. I did his memorial
Yes.
too. In Orlando, I did his memorial. Eddie Guagua used to tell me that all he used to get paid was like $100 or $150
Yes. Yes.
for a
When
gig,
we were
and
when we were back in them days in the 70s and 80s when we were making 25 $30, that's what they were making.
they were
80
making
to
that
100. You know what
exactly.
I'm
But no, but
saying?
they continue on to the present day. The
Yes,
only the
that's
only
the
the,
shame.
the only one that used to
That
pay him really good money that I got to give it to him. I got to give a shout out to Rico Monaco. When he played with Rico Monaco and that band, he
yeah,
started
yeah.
playing it with, he had to go that route and play that type of music, that Latin rock. And then he started
Yes,
getting
yes.
his paycheck. Then he was like, appreciate it. Man, I'm getting a
Yeah, well,
$400 paycheck.
that's
I'm
what
thinking they're getting 1,000. Oh man.
that's what I'm saying. So back when that salsa romantica came out, you was in the same boat. If you
Yeah.
wanted to get paid, you had to,
You have to
you had to
pay
do
that
that.
stuff.
I
Oh
did a
man.
little time with Lalo Rodriguez and those
Oh
guys, you know what I'm
yeah, you
saying?
did.
Yeah. I did a little time with them.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, yeah. So yeah.
I got my feet wet in that a little bit.
Nice, nice. Let me see something.
You
Man.
know the one the what really interests me, where I really learned a lot, is when we got together in Drum Cafe.
Oh yeah.
That
That's
was a
right. You
straight
play with it,
that
right?
that was a straight school for me. Straight
Me too.
school.
And that's with Tobos Rubamba and
Yep.
Casa Ponsu. Once I started to play that style, Congolese style with Tobos, and he's there giving
Uh-huh.
me instruction playing, my plane just shot up.
Just yes, yes, yes,
Shot up. And that's
absolutely.
true. Drum Cafe, we
Absolutely.
started doing some good pay and some those gigs, and it really
Yes.
gave us the feel for the
Yes.
core of it,
We
African
was in
core.
the Mecca right there.
Yeah.
It don't get more deeper than that.
No.
And I got to give a shout out to Ito too. What's up, Ito?
Ito,
You know,
I gotta do it.
I learned
I have to do a interview with Ito. I just gotta catch him at the
I
right
learned a lot
time.
from him too, to tell you the
Yeah,
truth. You
yeah.
remember that you guys were the first two that I called to do percussion in Sonido Criminal.
That's right.
You and
That's
Ito.
right. That's
I
right.
remember, yeah,
That's right.
when we were putting it
I
together.
was playing
So,
bongo. That's right. I was playing bongo.
yeah,
That's right. That's right. That's right.
that's something
Wow.
else, my brother.
Big time.
But
Got
you
it.
know what? I do this for the love. I do it for the
Gotcha.
love.
You
Plain
have
and
to.
simple. Plain and simple. I love to
Yeah.
play. That they
Yeah.
call me. They think that they getting on me, pero me llaman lo que tú eres un fiebre, brother. And I love that. I
I
love
love
when
it.
they
Yo
say that,
say,
bro.
come your fiebre.
But
I'm
yeah, I
okay with
love
that.
it. Yes,
I'm
yes. Yeah, I
okay with
love
that.
that. That's a beautiful nickname.
Yeah,
Fiebre.
man. So wow, man. So right now, so you're in Orlando right now, right?
Yes,
And you're recording. What
yes.
I
Right now,
understand. How's
yes.
that project coming along?
It's coming along slowly, but it's coming along. You know what I'm saying? Because
That's
when you're the only one, it's a little hard. When you're the only producer and stuff like that's a little hard. But it's work that I love, and I'm
the end
learning a lot
product.
there.
Oh,
Yes, and I'm learning a lot there too. You know,
yeah. Well, you were the right person, con Victor.
yeah.
Keep up
But the
there.
single should be out
Yeah,
in sometime in May. I'm hoping.
in May. Well, you got to
Yes,
make
because
sure that I get you shoot me up something, a promo
most
about the
definitely.
single so I could put it on,
Yeah,
on my
most definitely.
channel. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
This
We're
is,
trying to get back out there. Tumbao
yeah,
con calles, trying to get back out to la
Tumbao con
calle.
Calle. I was going to ask you that
Yes.
segue. So the new band, It's called
Yes.
Tumbao con Calle. Where did you get that name from? I mean,
Oh my
how does
God,
this name come to you, bro?
listen. I was sitting down with a friend of mine. I love him to death to this day. His name is Benji. He was a conguero in the group. Actually, it was his and my brainchild because
Okay.
we got tired of playing. With what they were doing now is bringing groups down here playing with a computer, sequencia or whatever they call it,
Wow,
a
sequence,
computer.
yeah,
You
sequencing.
know, so they get a percussionist, to play, and they
Mhm.
put the fake brass and all that on the sequencia,
Wow,
and they
yeah,
sing. And I was like,
wow.
yo, are you crazy? What is going on? And that's what was taking over. Still kind of is.
Damn.
So we said, look, if we're gonna start our own band, it's because we want to do what we want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's how it turned out. So then we were just running through names, and all I just mentioned Tumbao, and then it just got together, Tumbao con Calle. You know what I
Wow,
mean? And
con
it
Calle, and it fits
stayed.
perfectly because
It,
that's
it it stuck. You know what I'm saying? It just
yeah,
stuck.
it
You
fits
know.
perfectly, perfectly. Do you remember the gig we did with opening for Tito Nieves?
Oh, most definitely.
That
I
was a
still have the
huge.
stick that he signed, the little timbales stick he
Oh,
signed, bro, with the
nice. That
picture.
was a
Yes,
huge, huge concert. That was in
yes,
downtown
it was.
Orlando, and huge.
Yes. I mean,
You
the
know,
people were out
I
there. I
enjoy
think they
myself.
were they were honoring Tito Nieves for something, and I think he was the first salsa artist or the first Latino to open a concert down on Orange Avenue or
On
something
Orange
like
Avenue.
that.
Wow.
And we
Right.
got picked to out of names that from the radio station at that time, they picked us to open for him.
Nice. I remember
You
that.
know
That
that
was a great
that
experience. I mean,
Oh my God, are you
people were
serious?
just
Yes,
went crazy over the band. I mean, because we had
yes,
that swag. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
yo,
And
esta
and
salsa
that
de
and
Nueva York.
Oh, that sound was there too. You know
Sound
what I
was
mean?
there.
Yes, yes. You cannot. A pet peeve of mine today is a lot of local musicians, a lot of guys that are coming up,
Mhm.
think that rehearsal is a waste of time. You know what I mean?
No,
Yo te hago dos ensayos, uno o dos si es importante, pero uno antes del guiso y vamos para
have
allá.
to.
And then
Yeah.
excuse the French, but they just mess it all up, bro. They don't know the breaks. They don't, they're not, you know what I'm saying? And so that you have to, if you don't rehearse, number one, you're not going to get better. You're not going to learn. You know what I'm saying? And so I demand it. If you want to play with us, you got to be down to rehearse. We rehearse every week.
Yeah.
I
You got to know the
remember
blues.
coming from times when we used to rehearse twice a week, Tuesdays and
I
Thursdays. You
remember
know what I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah, we used
But
to
it's for the
rehearse.
love. That's
Yeah,
what I find.
and you
That's
got to
the
learn
difference.
it's a format, the
Yes,
blueprint. You got to know
you had
it.
that.
Okay, this is the break. This is the type of break because I noticed in a lot of your composition, there's certain breaks that
Yep.
are part of the composition. It's just part of it.
Yeah,
You know,
you had
so,
asked me before what the difference that I see a difference between the New York musician and down here, and that's the one thing that I can tell you is the difference. The New York musician I see, we play for the love. I used to call cats, yo, you feel like jamming? Yeah, where at? Boom, and we met up. You
yeah,
know
you
what I
know
mean?
me.
Yes,
I'm there in a heartbeat.
and it still happens like that today. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference that I see. That they do it a lot more for
So,
the love.
so what's the climate now? Now with this COVID-19, and I'm hoping this to get over. What's the climate now, if for as far as salsero or a musician and a
the
band?
the climate
Yeah.
the climate is starting to wake up now. For a whole year it was dead. You know what I'm saying? And it's just starting to wake up. That's why I'm in the lab working. Because when the establishments start opening up again, I want to be
You
ready
want to
and
be
be out
ready.
there.
Exactly.
You
You
know,
want to go for
yeah.
it. You
So
want to
it's
be ready.
starting to come back, but man, a lot of musicians suffered. A lot of not only
Oh
musicians
no.
but roadies and technicians and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
That's
A lot of those
that's
people behind
part
the
of
scenes,
everything. Yeah.
yeah, man. Those people all the people that make Mark Anthony and Gilberto Santa Rosa look good and fabulous are the ones that are suffering. You
The
know what I mean?
suffering.
And they need to be taken care of.
Did you know
So yeah,
Elton Reyes, the trumpet player, just
yes.
recently passed away?
Oh, I
And
didn't know that. Oh,
yeah, Elton just
RIP.
passed recently passed away, like about
Yeah.
a month ago.
It's,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
lot of people. It's a lot
Him
of
and Jamie
people
were like when
leaving
it
us.
came to horn players, man.
Yeah.
Elton Reyes and Jamie was the guys that I called, to do any
Yeah.
project that I was doing in the studio. At the time, I was working with Sony, so Latin Sony with Ray
Wow.
James and
Yeah.
Arrasa. You know, as I was
Yes, I
doing
remember. Yeah,
the
yeah,
things that I
I
remember
remember
that
that.
doing all
Yes,
that work with them and stuff like
yes.
that, that crazy stuff. But yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So we're losing musicians here and there.
That's insane, you know.
Yeah.
I'm doing this now and putting my heart and soul into it because it's almost like the last chapter. You dig?
Oh man, don't let it. There's so many music that could come that's gonna come out of you, man.
oh
You just
yes, and
your
that's
wealth
what I'm
of
trying to do. But
experience, man. Experience, man. I want to
yes.
get into writing, man, and I want to one day collab with you in some
Oh,
salsa writing, bro.
that would
Take it
be
to the
great.
street.
That would
Take it
be
to the
that would
street.
be awesome. That would be
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
There's ideas I want to run by you. Absolutely. 'Cause yes, need to get together.
yeah. Oh, that's the most definite, bro. Man, so I enjoy this so much because it's like we have so much in common when it comes to music and the way
Yes,
we
we do.
express
Yes,
ourselves in terms of
yes.
being
And we have
percussionists
and
in the school.
we
Same
love the
school.
we love the similar styles. We love that deepness about what a percussionist is made of. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more than just what you see on the surface. A
We
lot
stay
of
true to that
feeling.
rumba. You still do rumba, right?
Oh, most
It,
definitely, most
shoot, man,
definitely.
come on,
Yes,
you gotta
most
stay true to
definitely.
that rumba. Because I know that
Absolutely.
a lot of percussionists used to come and take lessons with me because they wanted to know the rumba style. I noticed that in Orlando, we grew up around it, around Alter
Right.
Beach and on the block. Ain't no way you went in New York, you didn't go without somebody coming
That's
out with
right.
congas in the stoop,
Right.
in the
That's
stoop
right.
playing. So we come from that school. And in Orlando, it was just pockets, like little places. Ito was the first one I started to do rumba with in the garage, in my house, in the
Look at
garage. I
that.
play rumba in the
I
garage.
wish I wish many times that I would have known you back then because I
Mhm.
missed that. I
Yeah.
looked for
What
it
did you
over
do,
and over.
Elena Cafe? Didn't you play outside? Remember Elena's Cafe outside
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah,
Tony
yes,
Green
yes,
Eyes? I was just
yes.
talking to Tony today.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I see him on I see him on Facebook a lot. Yes. I
Yeah.
remember you know how I met Tony Green Eyes? I was brand new here in Orlando. And somebody, my uncle took me down to a Church Street station, right?
Yeah.
And so he was outside playing he was playing congas, he was playing with this Jamaican guy, and they were playing I shot the sheriff, and he was playing a beat, right? So I went up next to him and I whispered in his ear. I gave him $5. I threw $5 in the bucket and I said, "Can I sit down and play for a little bit?"
You did that New
So
York thing.
yeah. So he let me sit down, right? And I started playing. Then Monday he goes to work, right?
uh-huh.
And he doesn't know he's talking to my uncle. My uncle was his boss. We didn't know that then. But he's just describing me to my uncle. And my
Uh-huh.
uncle told him, yo, yeah, that's my cousin. You are, he's visiting down here now. That's my cousin. Because my cousin, I told him what had happened. I told
Mhm.
my uncle what had happened. And that was funny that Tony went and told him. So
That's
Tony
crazy.
came Tony came and he sat next to me and learned for a while. And then I put him in the band with me with La Fuerza Latina.
Oh
You know,
wow. Yeah, he
I
told me
put
about that. I was
yeah,
like, wow, I did not know
I
that.
put him
I
yes,
didn't know.
I put him in right away. You know what I'm saying? And I battled for him. I used to fight for him. Nah, let him play, bro. He could play, let him play. You know, um, that's what I do. It's like I think it's for everybody. You know what I'm saying? If
So
somebody is eager and wants to get into it, why not?
exactly, and yeah, exactly. We share that talent, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
communication. It's communication. It's culture.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
tribal culture. That's the way we get down.
You know,
So
you know.
what else? I mean, so you got the Tumbao con Calle coming out
Uh-huh.
soon, and you say please shoot out for me the single when it comes out,
Yeah, most
and we're
definitely. Yeah.
definitely gonna be in contact. I definitely want to do some writing with you and stuff like that. I want to branch out. I want to learn as much as I can,
Yeah,
also
bro.
from
I
you.
could I dig that.
You know,
Seriously, let's do it.
take it to the streets. You know what I'm saying? Gutter,
Yes,
gutter, gutter.
absolutely. Let's
And
do it.
so, anything else you want to cover? I mean, what else? What other projects? Do you have any other
Well,
projects that you?
right now, I'm just concentrating on Tumbao con Calle. You know what I mean? I want to get the music out because that's what's missing a lot is talent or new groups with original music. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Very
And
important.
people are going out and playing the same old setup. Café
Right.
con leche, bilongo. You know what I
Oh
mean?
man. I mean, I love
Trucutus.
those songs, but coño, you
You
gotta. I
know,
mean, come on, you
every
gotta.
every band out there is playing the
Everybody's
same
doing the
thing.
same.
We're coming with a different set. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? We're coming with some up north clave and songs
Yes.
that they probably haven't even heard before. You know what I
Right.
mean? And plus, we're putting together original songs. So that's what I'm concentrating on now.
Right. Oh, man, that's deep. That's deep. So, Willie, it's we've already been here like 48 minutes. I mean, there's so much I know that we can go into because like sitting down with you, uh, you know, we can take this into
Oh
so
yes,
many,
yeah,
many
yeah,
venues, because of the experience that we have, especially
yeah,
with the rumba, con rumba de la
yes,
calle and stuff like
yes,
that. So there's much more. So I'm hoping that maybe, in the near future we do a part two and we'll go
oh
deeply
it
into
would
some
be
stuff.
it
You know what
would
I'm
be my
saying?
pleasure. It would
Because I
be
want
my
to know your
pleasure, man.
experiences playing with a lot of
Yeah,
these
man.
cats.
Anytime, it would be my pleasure, man. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah, man.
I
So,
enjoyed this. This was cool.
anything else you want to leave us? Do you want to close out with something? I mean, any message you have there for aspiring musicians? You
Nah,
know,
not it's just keep fighting, man. I mean, me as a musician and at my age, I figure I'm gonna get buried doing this. You know what I'm saying? So,
right? You
it's in
are
the
who you
blood.
are.
So,
It's in the blood.
pa'lante,
You are who you
everybody,
are.
do your thing. There's room
That's
for
right.
all of us. You know what I
That's right.
mean? We just, there's room for
That's
all
right.
of us. So that,
That's right.
and be careful out there, my people. Losing a lot
Yes.
of young people on some messed up stuff, but that's for
Yeah.
another day.
Yeah.
You
That's
know.
for another day.
But
Well,
but
mira,
thanks a lot, bro. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you, bro.
thank you so
Oh yeah, mi
much.
gente.
Yeah. Willie Ramos, another one. Yeah. Man, my brother, I thank you very
Carlos,
much for blessing this broadcast with your presence and
my
your
pleasure, my
knowledge.
bro.
And I'm looking forward, to hear more music from you, man, and also
Yeah,
to
man.
collab. We're gonna collab
I'm,
together
I'm looking for.
on some
I'm looking
stuff.
forward. I'm looking forward to putting it out there. Believe that.
Okay. So Willie, gracias very much. And
Thank you, bro.
okay, and it's a pleasure always, bro.
Yeah,
Peace
likewise.
out, my
Peace,
brother.
bro.
Peace out.
I talk
Nice.
to you soon.
Okay.
Salsa dura es lo que hay.
Well, there you go, my people. They want to stay too long on this one, but there's so much that we can go into, man. With Willie, there's so much. I mean, like I said, we got so much in common, being from that whole New York and bringing that New York swag and that style. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Willie got an upper hand on me because he's been composing and stuff like that. I've composed here and there, but I mean, I haven't really, really gotten so deep into like he did. So I'm always willing to learn from that brother like that and do some collab with him. But anyway, I thank everybody. Um, let me see. Well, yeah, Matt, how you doing? I'm glad you enjoyed this podcast. My buddy Boricua sister. I'm glad you enjoyed this podcast, and definitely look up some more. And look, my brother Willie Ramos. We're gonna be speaking more. You know what I'm saying, and getting some marketing stuff done. So you're gonna hear a lot from Tumbao con Calle, man. And like I said, let's keep this culture alive. Let's keep this culture alive. Let's be for real. Let's bring this realism, this music, realism music. Let's bring it. You know what I'm saying? Edwin Perez is doing it. We can do it. We can all and let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. You know what I'm saying? So a peace and blessing to everybody out there. And down Sihibui, like a Taino, I love you. And I'll be looking forward for the next podcast. Peace.